This week on the podcast, Disneyland has reopened and wishes do come true. Find out what Carrie and I think about all the news coming up next. Stay tuned. Hi, I'm Francine and you're listening to the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast, a podcast where our first topic of conversation will always be Disney. I've been a Disney fan for as long as I can remember, and I'm determined to bring more of that Disney magic into my everyday life. So if you need a little extra pixie dust in your day, you've come to the right place. Thanks so much for listening, and let's get started. Welcome to another episode of the Pixie Dust Fan Podcast. Hello, Carrie.
Hi.
Hi. We were, just before we started, I just said to you, this is going to be episode 96. I think we're 96.
We think.
I think we're, well, if my list is correct, I think we're 96.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got only a few weeks until our 100th episode. Isn't that insane?
Yep.
I'm very excited about this. Although I am a little panicked now that I know it's 96. Because we talked about we were going to finally re-record the intro. And because the intro, we
were talking about that since like episode like maybe 74.
I know, right? We've got to get this thing done. And I remember one night, really late, we were chatting and we kind of had one hammered out. And then, I don't know what happened. We were going to record it and then we didn't.
Got sidetracked.
I know. Okay, so we've only got a few weeks left. So we've got to get that recorded. But Carrie, what are we going to do for our 100th episode?
I had some ideas and then I think, I don't know if I wrote them down.
We may need to brainstorm again.
We need to brainstorm again. I think we have talked a few episode ideas.
We have
like maybe some flashbacks or some favorite memories or
that would be
things
fun.
like that.
You know what would be fun?
Bloopers.
Bloopers.
I think that might have been brought up in our brainstorming.
That's always fun. I got to figure out whether I have all the bloopers because once I edit the podcast, I don't keep a lot of the raw.
Darn.
Raw audio. I could for this week,
most of the bloopers are me. That's really unfortunate.
You know what would be really fun though? What if we had people send in little voice clips of like their favorite memory or something to us? We could put those right in the podcast. If they sent us like a little, do you think that would be fun? Mm-hmm. Little 30-second clips of, they can congratulate us. They can share their favorite memory from the podcast, something, anything. That would be fun. Oh, that's a good idea that we just, okay. So what if
when we're done recording, we should write it down.
We probably should. And then we should probably post it online and stuff and get people to actually maybe do it. That would be fun, Carrie.
That would be a good one.
Yeah, so they could send it in to us so before I forget then, for anybody listening, if you'd like to do that and have your voice on the podcast, send it to, you can send it as a voice clip to the Facebook page. You can send it to us. I don't know if you can send files like that on Instagram. Maybe not. But you could send an email, info, it's tink@pixiedustfan.com. I think I have an info too.
I think you just
created one, didn't I?
You're just not used to saying it.
I'm not. This is so bizarre. But yes, I will. You know what? I'll put it all in the show notes. But you can send it to us. So yay! We've got a few weeks, Carrie. That's it.
This is how we operate here. We put it out where we're not quite sure. We've brainstormed things that may or may not have been written down. We have to check our notebooks, and we just decide to say it, and then it's happening.
This is the whole behind the scenes.
We need to collect input and feedback from our listeners, and we need to record our intro because we were going to do a new intro to celebrate.
Yes, we are, and we're going to get that done. So now because again, if we put it out in the universe, then we feel like we just have to do it because we've already said we were going to do it. Oh, it'll be fun. So it's been a good week, Carrie.
Yeah, for sure.
It's been a good week in Disney announcements. That's what we were going to talk about today.
Yep.
Well, not Disney announcements, but
Disneyland.
I know. They can't see you, but I can see that you've got your Disneyland sweatshirt on.
I may or may not have been wearing it for a couple of days now. to support. I have a t-shirt underneath, so hopefully it's not too stinky. But just to feel closer to Disneyland.
I had my Disneyland shirt on Friday too. I was really excited. It's like just to see it open again.
Yeah, for sure. I may have stayed up really late last night.
Yeah.
And I watched YouTube videos.
Yeah.
For hours.
Of people just in Disneyland.
Yeah, just getting there, just seeing them return and how emotional they were and they were, checking out some of the new things that have changed or updated or refreshed and showing that.
So what about the big refresh? They had a big refresh to the Snow White Scary Adventures Aren't Scary Anymore.
Yep. Is
it not scary? Like, I haven't seen it yet. I haven't.
Well, I didn't watch it.
Oh, you didn't because you want to see it with your own eyes when you get there.
I couldn't decide last night, so I sped through it. And honestly, I got a lot of videos to watch, so I did kind of speed through some of the ride-throughs because, people hadn't been for 400 plus days, so a lot of videos showing the rides again, doing little bits and pieces of ride-through. So I did kind of zoom through some of those pieces so that I could actually watch more YouTube content.
So you could get further in on the content.
So I can get further in on some of the stuff. So
now a lot of the YouTubers that were there for opening day were also invited by cast members and managed to get there for the cast member preview that was a few days ahead.
Yeah, that was neat too. I watched some of those videos. They were all, so excited to be there, but amazing that they got that experience. Like, they all said, we'll never see the parks like this ever again. Like, so light crowds and really getting, what a way to go back. That you get to go in the park and do as much as you possibly can. Like, they could see and do so much because there were so few people in there.
Because they were going on and going on things multiple times. There were no lines. That was during the cast member preview, right? Just
easily able to get on everything. So that was really cool. Like, what a wonderful way to go back for someone who loves the park so much. And it was awesome.
Was it the same kind of crowd level on the opening day as it was on the cast member preview based on the videos you were watching? Did you see that?
There wasn't, I watched just the preview days.
Oh, okay. So
yeah, I didn't watch the open because last night they would have just been.
Yeah, they would have been editing.
They would have just been there. They would have been editing their videos. I watched some Instagram lives. I saw some stuff, but I didn't really get a feel for the crowds through the Instagram lives. But just seeing everybody's emotions, and it's just awesome.
And seeing all the cast members back at work.
Oh my goodness!
And seeing the cast members lining the streets, welcoming everybody in. It was
that's probably the most the more emotional thing is you think, oh my goodness, I've got to look at that castle, but then you get around the bend and you look down Main Street and you see all these wonderful faces, welcoming you and waving at you.
I posted that on Facebook and I said, look at all these faces. And somebody corrected me and said, they all have masks on. You can't see their faces. I'm like, oh my goodness. Yeah, I get it. But you know what you can see is the joy in their eyes.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And the tears. There were people crying, of course.
One funny thing that I noticed though when I was watching the walkthroughs and whatever, which I think is kind of funny. So I wanted to share with you because you're gonna think I'm crazy.
Shocking.
But it's a good one. So you know how they did all of the stuff to the Haunted Mansion? They've done some tweaks or whatever to the Haunted Mansion. This is the stuff that I noticed when I'm watching these videos at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. So they did stuff in the Haunted Mansion inside, right? But outside they changed the pet cemetery. So they've done a few things to the pet cemetery. And what they did was they put different plants that kind of match the pet cemetery statues. So around the frog or the toad or whatever he is, frog, they have a plant that kind of looks like lily pads or whatever.
No way.
And so they have all kinds of different plants that kind of match the statues. So as I was watching it late last night, I thought, oh, that's neat, because I was trying to find what was different, right? Because the one thing I noticed with the one vloggers I was watching is that they kept saying, is that a different color? Is that different? Was that there before? Like, it's been like a place that they went to multiple times a week. They were kind of questioning whether or not
they remembered it exactly.
Whether or not they remembered the same, or if something was a little bit different or whatever. So I was really interested in watching the Pet Cemetery stuff, because they were taking a nice walk and trying to quiz out what they thought was different. And when they went by the cat statue, I thought, oh my goodness, I thought I heard they were putting different plants down. I was thinking to myself, is that cat mint? So they put around the cat statue cat mint. And I went online to the Disney Parks TikTok, because they did a walkthrough and they talked about all the different plants that they put by the statues. And I've got cat mint in my backyard by my pond. And I'm going to tell you right now, my cats live on that cat mint. So I was giggling last night in the middle of the night when I'm watching these videos. Pretty sure that was cat mint, but got confirmed today that when those Disneyland cats realize that that's cat mint,
they're going to be there all the time.
I don't think that it's going to be there for very long. My cats flatten it. They roll all in it. The minute one cat leaves, another cat's waiting in the wings to sit on the cat mint and roll around on the cat mint and lay on the cat mint. Like, it is the hottest spot in my backyard when the cat mint is there. And they put cat mint by the cat statue. Maybe they did it on purpose. Maybe they have no idea.
Course, no, they did it on purpose. Those are fantastic details. If they have details like lily pads, no, but maybe they didn't think about that the cats actually love it, because, or maybe that's part of the thing. Maybe that's part of the story, that they have this cat gravesite, and then all the cats are coming to see it. Because you're going to have all the cats hanging around
I don't know that they want the...
Like, I don't know that they want all the cats maybe at the pet cemetery, because that would be weird. But oh my goodness.
Well, yeah. So I kind of giggled at that last night, and because I know what cat mint looks like, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's cat mint. And I knew
details. Like,
yeah, I don't know that that's a good detail though. Like, they thought, oh, this is called cat mint, so we should probably use it because it's called cat mint. But do they really know that cat mint is like catnip to cats?
Yeah.
Unless it's just my cats, but I'm telling you, like, that... Yeah,
but Carrie, you need to get to Disneyland before they take it out, because you're always at Disneyland looking for the Disneyland cats. In short order, if you're right, all the cats are going to be in the pet cemetery. Maybe
the Imagineer that did it is like a serious cat person, and then they're kind of giggling, going, "Oh, I'm going to give the cats what they really want. They're not going to be hanging over in Critter Country anymore. They're going to be over in front of the mansion.
I'm going to bring the cats to the mansion, out of Critter Country and over to the mansion."
So far, that's my favorite part about the Disneyland reopening.
That's fantastic. I'm so excited. I'm so excited that it's reopened, and hopefully soon, we're all going to be able to get there. That would be, it just looks fantastic. So what else did they change? Like, I'm assuming they did some painting, some maintenance, some cleaning and fixing and all that stuff. You may as well, I guess, when the parks are closed.
Yeah, I think so. I think a lot of refurbishment and repainting things and was done for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's
looks amazing.
Yay!
So, lots of great videos to watch for everybody if they want to take a look. I didn't send you any yet.
No, I noticed that. I haven't got any videos from you lately.
I was gonna send you some last night, but I thought, no, it's a little bit too late, and then I would be busted for how late I was up. So
because you said you were going to bed early last night.
I did not go to bed early.
The good news is I have my phone set so that it's silent through the night. So you'll know. Yeah. So
I'll queue up some and I'll send them to you. Just some of the it's amazing seeing the emotions of some people.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing because they're just such super fans, and you know how they, you could be doing the same thing. So and it's not like you even get envious that you wish you were there. You're just so happy for them because you know how much it means to them. Yeah, it's really great.
Well, it was full of surprises this week at Disney with the Wish.
Yes.
Other emotions. Speaking of emotional week, that was a great segue, was to the Wish. So it was actually, did you know that the day they showed all those details, it was a National Wish Day?
Mm-hmm, that's cool.
Isn't that cool? And Disney donated a whole bunch of money to Make-A-Wish. They are really big partners of Make-A-Wish, which, of course, I love. But this all happened on Wish Day, and they gave us all the details that they have available. So it's not a lot of details about the newest ship in Disney Cruise Line. Now, both of us are cruisers, but not like, we have friends who cruise a lot more than we do. But we like to cruise. And the ship, it's funny, we started to have a conversation about it, and then we said, don't talk about it, so that we could talk about it on the podcast, because I know, so that we know a little bit about what we're thinking, but not a lot. So for me, I love the thought of this ship. It's Cinderella. Come on. It's Cinderella. It's wishes. It's, it embodies everything. I love the fact that the captain is Minnie. I love that. Yeah.
I like the look of the ship. I love the overall look of the ship, that it's the same feel as the other ships, but different, I don't know. It's a different look, but it's still got the same classic feel, and looks like still Art Deco-ish. But just fresh and new, and maybe a little bit brighter.
The staterooms look brighter.
Oh, yes. Oh, I love seeing the staterooms.
Those staterooms and the art. Oh, my goodness. But this ship is bigger than any of the other Disney ships, which every time they come out, they're getting bigger and bigger. I don't know how I feel about that. I do love the small, classic Wonder Magic ships. So the first two ships. I love them. I love them when you go, because the bigger the ship, when you go to Castaway Cay, the more, that's really where I notice it, is when you get on that island. If you're on the Fantasy, when you get to Castaway Cay, it's very different than when you're on the Wonder at Castaway Cay, because it's just so many more people.
I like the layout of the Wonder and the Magic too. The Dream was a little different, and that's what I like. I look forward to seeing if they do anything different with the Wish, right? They can't change too much up, but they can. They did do tweaks with the Dream, with where they located things and placed certain certain parts of certain services or whatever. So it'll be interesting to see if they follow suit the way the Dream is, or if they'll tweak it and put things in a little bit of a different place, or route people a certain way. I kind of look forward to that, because that's exciting. That's exciting for me to see if they do anything different like that.
Well, because it's usually born from the fact that they figure out that there's a better way to do it. Each ship, they're adding a little more function, and okay. So it's supposed to have something like, what did they say, 3,500 or 4,000 passengers on this ship? 4,000? That's a lot of people. That explains it. I've been on ships where, you knew someone else that was going to be on the cruise with you, and you saw them once or twice. That explains right there why you don't see people. So I remember once we were getting on a cruise with, do you remember, I don't know if you watched Survivor, but Boston Rob, he won Survivor. He got engaged on Survivor to his girlfriend Amber, whatever. We were in line to get on the ship, and in front of us was Rob and Amber and their kids. And we were like, oh my gosh. And then we got on the ship and we never saw them again. And I don't think, and once we were on the ship with Buddy Velastro and his family.
What? The cake boss?
Did you not know that? Yeah. I was on the sailing where they went and renewed their vows at Castaway Cay.
Oh, man.
They did that whole episode where they were on the ship. I was on the ship too. So his whole family was there. And I think we saw him once when they were decorating the cake in cabanas. They were decorating the cake and getting it all ready. I saw the kids from his family more often up by the pool and stuff. But really, that was it. We really didn't see much of them. That kind of speaks to how big the ships are.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And this one's even bigger.
Yep. I think people think how much could there possibly be to do, how, it's only a ship. But you could be on the ship for the whole week and still not know which way to go to get to the dining room, right? You walk out of your stateroom and you walk the wrong way every time, right?
Every time.
it's a lot bigger than you expect, and a lot like it's a lot of people, but not a lot of people. Like there's definitely times when it's busy, but when it's a ship of 4,000 people, there's definitely still times where you can be in certain areas where you almost feel like there's nobody around. So
yeah, totally true. With all the activities and stuff. So I know we did a podcast before, and I can link to it in the show notes. It was like our top 10 reasons we love Disney Cruise Line or something like that. I think we did. It was a way back. It might have been, it was episode 50. We did the top 10 reasons we love Disney Cruise Line. But I think when we talk about the quote unquote attractions and the activities and the restaurants and stuff, they're coming out with some pretty cool stuff on this new ship, but it's very heavily, what do you call it? Like very, like there's a lot of branding in it for the different things, but there's Marvel in here, like a lot of Marvel. So I'm going to have to watch all these movies or something. I'm going to have to know who these superheroes are. So they have a Marvel's kid, like they have the kids club, but they also have dining.
Yep.
That's going to be Marvel.
Of Marvel.
When they were talking about it, they said something about the technology at the restaurant, which for me, I'm kind of wondering if this is going to be like, you know how on some of the ships they have, you know, the Finding Nemo and they're swimming around or whatever, and there's different things that are in, like, is this Worlds of Marvel restaurant going to have some really technologically advanced things that happen at dinner?
Well, I wonder if both the Worlds of Marvel and the Frozen dining, if they both will.
Yeah, the Frozen dining, though, they talked about, like, sounding like there's going to be entertainment. I don't know how I feel about the singing and stuff at dinner.
What's wrong with singing at dinner?
Well, I don't know. I
just wonder if there'll be, like, if there will be still, like, sure, maybe it's more of a show with singing and dancing, but, like, if they've done technology in the dining room, I wonder if they'll have, you know, things transforming or maybe sort of maybe Marvel will step it up a notch, but maybe they'll use the technology from Animator's Palette to kind of make the Arendelle restaurant change and come to life, and then maybe the Marvel restaurant will be, you know, hold on to your boots, you ain't seen nothing yet type of thing, right?
Hold on to your boots. Is that from one of the movies?
I don't know.
I thought you were...
Cowboy? I don't know.
I thought you were quoting like one of the Marvel movies or something.
Absolutely not. No. I just couldn't think of what was the most appropriate hold on to your somethings.
This is the wildest ride in the universe.
The wildest ride in the wilderness.
Yeah, that's Big Thunder Mountain. Okay. Here we go again. So Animator's Palette on the ships is the one where it starts out black and white, and then throughout dinner, it's almost like the drawings, the sketches on the walls everywhere come to life.
Right.
And
on the newer ships, the walls were all animated.
Yeah, which I loved.
And came to life.
Yes. And now, so yeah, you know what? They could totally do that. They could have Anna and Elsa in the middle, and then Elsa like freezes the walls in the restaurant, or that would be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
that's what I imagine.
Yeah, I would like that.
That could happen.
That could happen. So they've got a couple fun restaurants coming for sure, but my favorite that I am the most excited about is 1923.
Me too.
I know. So this is like rotational dining. So when you get on a Disney cruise, you go to a different restaurant every night. But your servers go with you. But these are the standards. So the standard restaurants that you will have in your rotation, the 3 restaurants will be the Frozen one, the Marvel one, and this 1923. Yeah. And the 1923 is obviously 1923 is the year the Walt Disney Studios animation studios were opened.
Mm-hmm.
And this restaurant is supposed to take you back to old Hollywood.
Yeah.
From the 1920s.
It reminds me of a Disneyland.
Yes!
The Disneyland Hotel, the Steakhouse 55. Even though, like, they don't look exactly the same, but the feel and the design elements to me, as soon as I saw the picture of 1923, the first thing that came to my mind was when I went for the Pixar brunch, and it's the same, like it's like an homage to that era and to Walt and Lillian, and there's pictures of them throughout the restaurant and little artifacts and things like that.
Right. See, now when I saw it, the first thing I thought of was Carthay Circle.
Yeah, same
from
feel.
California Adventure. Yeah, so that is same kind of thing with all the pictures of Walt and
same era, right? Like the same.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. So I'm very excited about that one. I can't wait to get in. I can't wait to get in there. And then of course they still have like Palo, the signature dining. So it's not included in your cruise fare, but you pay extra. But it's not huge. The extra fees for the dinner, and it's like a Michelin star chef kind of thing. Like these are super duper chefs at these restaurants, right? Mm-hmm. And then
Paulo, they're putting a beauty, like some Beauty and the Beast touches.
So more IP, which is intellectual property. And Carrie, how do you feel about that?
It's a lot of it.
It's a lot,
and yeah.
Everything is themed.
Which I understand, it's Disney, and that's what, and everybody loves their characters and their property. Mm-hmm. But I think like being an adult cruiser and like not cruising with children and really like liking the traditional cruise experience, it's I don't know, it's a little interesting that it's everywhere. Like
it sounds like it's going to be everywhere.
Right. And I think in the end it'll be all amazing and I'll love every single little bit of the ship.
Even when you have something that's remotely negative.
No, but listen to me.
You're like, you always, and then in the end you're like, but I love it.
I'm sure I'll love the ship every little every little square inch of it. But I think to get me more excited, I think I need more details. So like I loved the hyperspace lounge because that was one of the first. I was like, oh my goodness, I love where this is going. And
Carrie,
then
like look at that hyperspace lounge.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So we got to tell people what it is in case they haven't seen the videos and the movies and all that stuff. This is in the blog I wrote, I said it's like they came to me and said, what's your favorite bar on the Dream and how can we make it Star Wars?
Boom.
Boom. And you've got hyperspace lounge.
Yep. So I love that, and I loved the staterooms, and I was getting excited about the dining. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about the dining, but then I saw that it's so themed, and I'm okay with it being themed, but it just seems 2 out of 3 being strongly themed. Yeah. I don't know. I would like to see maybe 1 strongly themed restaurant and then 2 restaurants that are a little bit more flexible where things could kind of pop up and be a surprise versus, Marvel standard all the time or Frozen all the time. Like on the Magic, the Tangled, how they changed the one dining into Tangled dining. Like I squealed the nights we were in that restaurant because it was the most amazing time. I loved it, and I couldn't wait to see what they did with the Princess and the Frog and Tiana on the other ship. I loved it, but it was new and fun and amazing, and I'm all cool for that type of experience. But I was like, wow, it seems to be a lot, like a lot of it. But like I said, I think I just need to hear more details.
And maybe see some more pictures of it, right? Mm-hmm. Like when they talk about how it's themed, like Palo is themed with Beauty and the Beast. I think they said it was Cogsworth, right? Like it's a Cogsworth sort of themed place for Palo. So is it really that it's just using the colors and the lines and sort of that kind of stuff? And it's sure really, you don't know that it's Beauty and the Beast unless you're like a huge Beauty and the Beast fan.
Yep. Yeah, for sure. Like inlays of images and just very subtle hints.
Like subtle and classic. And,
Oh,
and
I know it'll be that way. It'll absolutely be that way. Disney. I don't think Disney Cruise Line would have it any other way. But
yes, but I don't. Obviously, that's not going to be the case for the Frozen dining and Marvel dining. I think it's going to be more in your face,
which is cool. That's like most families are on board, and
they
love Frozen and they love Marvel, and
right.
It's all good.
So when you think Hyperspace Lounge is going to be very themed to Star Wars. In Skyline, all the windows around the bar basically change. Every 15 minutes, you get a new skyline of a new city. And I love sitting in there and just watching. I feel like I'm traveling around the world in there. So now they're basically doing the same thing with Star Wars lands. And apparently so during the day, it'll be open to families. And then, of course, at night, it'll be an adults only. And I don't know about you, but didn't it look like there were more, like almost like the adult only areas seemed to be a bit bigger? Like the way they were talking about them. And the way like the Quiet Cove. So the Quiet Cove is where I usually hang out in, Carrie, you've got a cat that I think wants to get into your podcast recording studio. Should we please hold?
I don't know. She's scratching at the door.
I know.
I'm going to strangle her. I'll be right back.
So Minnie didn't get in the room.
No, that was a Mittens. My cat Mittens.
Oh, that was Mittens. Okay.
She was scratched, and then by the time I got to the door, she had decided she was done. So
she was done. So you weren't fast enough.
No.
Okay, so we're good.
Back.
We're back.
Sorry, everybody.
That's good. We were talking about the Quiet Cove.
Oh, yeah.
The adult-only spots, right? So it looked to me like the Quiet Cove it just looked a bit bigger. And that's, the 18-plus area on the ship where, I love it up there. And that's Moana themed, isn't it?
Well, I think
Speaking of IPs,
I believe the Cove Bar or the Cove Cafe has a bit of a Moana theme. So the one thing about this adult area, though, they showed the pool. There's an infinity pool. They talked about the Cove Cafe and the bar, and they talked about the Star Wars lounge. Mm-hmm. But what about the rest of the adult area? So on the other ships, those adult nightclub nighttime areas are very well themed, right? Like
what do you mean?
Themed together.
Yes, like it's a whole district.
It's like a district.
It's like you'd be going out in your city to downtown, and they have all the different clubs or places for you to go, all in this little district on the ship, which is just the adult nightlife. Yes.
So, right. So, and it all just seems, it comes together, right? You've got your champagne bar, you've got your pub, you've got your whatever. So, think about that with a Star Wars lounge.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Is Hyperspace Lounge going to be part of that, or is that like a whole different spot?
Oh, and then I think it's part of it.
Yeah, but then how does that work? Then how do you go? Like, do you have to? Yeah,
that's my question. That's the thing I'm asking you to ponder.
Okay, I haven't pondered that yet. Like, how do you get? I was so excited about being in the lounge.
Oh, me too. I didn't think of it right away.
How to get in the lounge? Like how did they get you there? It's kind of like, when you're going to meet Pixies, when you're going to meet Tinkerbell, right? Like, you've got to be shrunk to her size or whatever. How are you supposed to go from the comedy club to? I
don't know. I don't know. And then I wonder, how will that fit? Yeah, like, will it, like, it'll be in this, it's going to be in the same spot, I'm sure. Like, it looks just like, we know where it's supposed to be. It looks just like Skyline. So we can assume it's going to be in the same spot. So then, how do you, is there going to be a mechanism to bring us into this lounge, to get us into this lounge, right? Like a portal of sorts to get us into this lounge. But then how does this lounge fit in with the district?
I don't get it. Yeah, you're right.
Or maybe it won't be the district. Maybe there's more IP to come.
But what else could they put with it?
That's what I like. That's what I think. I loved all the information that came out, but I think there's so much more to get me to that level of excitement that I think I need to be for this new ship.
I think some of this release, instead of, while we were all focused on look at some of the details, it actually brings about more questions than answers, to your point. Mm-hmm. You are now pondering all of this, which now I was not pondering, but now I am. Thanks for that.
To me, it's exciting. It's like when we were talking to Lou, we were talking about how we get excited about knowing that there's stuff to be found, like knowing that there's going to be more information, right? Like,
to say it another way, we get excited about nothing.
Okay, that's right, exactly. We get excited about nothing. Like, we get excited knowing that there's more information to come with the 50th, right?
Knowing that we know nothing.
That we know nothing, but we're excited, anticipating that we will know more soon.
Yes.
Right?
Agreed.
And I think that's what this, like, I saw what they, they've put that out. It looks great. There's bits and pieces I love, but it makes me more excited for the fill in the blanks. Like there's so many more things.
There's so many blanks
that we need to know about. And when you think about the Hyperspace Lounge, like maybe it will be the district and the Hyperspace Lounge will just be
the lounge.
It'll just be like whatever. But my brain can't stop thinking will it be different?
Well, I guess it's got, but when you think about it, like when you go to the district and you walk out of the sports bar and then you're walking into like Hong Kong, like I guess it's kind of similar.
I think it's still it's a certain type of bar, like a skyline bar. Like you could be in New York City and be at a champagne bar, at a Irish pub,
true. They could all be existing around it.
Like
true.
They're all within it. They're all a different type of the same thing, right? Like they're all entertainment facilities that sell alcohol. So I don't know.
Your champagne? Are you
champagne?
You're gonna come have some champagne with me in this lounge?
Will the drinks in the Star Wars lounge be
themed? I would hope
only be themed. Like if you want a beer, get out of here.
Oh, that's gonna bug me though. You know that bugs me. So
that's gonna be that's gonna be the pass or fail of the entire ship in your eyes. That you're gonna be so excited about this about the Hyperspace Lounge, and then the minute you find out
that you can't get
a Bud Light Lime in that Hyperspace Lounge, you're gonna be like, yeah, back to the wonder.
It's so true, because I love the fancy idea of the cocktails and all that stuff, and they make these weird concoctions for it, but quite honestly they're just not my thing. So when we went to the bar in Galaxy's Edge, we went I've been like 3 or 4 times, but the concoctions just aren't my speed. They're just I'm not a big mixed drink person, so yeah. We'll see if I can get maybe they'll have like some galactic beer or something. I can't, like,
in a traditional cruise experience, I can't see a cruise line not giving you a Bud Light Lime wherever you are on that ship.
Yeah, exactly. The guys in Skyline just knew when I walked in. But we didn't even talk about entertainment. We didn't even talk about the theater because, it's not my favorite place.
We didn't get there yet.
We didn't get to the theater yet. Okay. The whole theater is like Fantasia themed.
Yeah, it looks totally different.
It looks
not totally
very
different.
Yeah, but this is where they're going to do their stage productions and stuff.
And I think then they said they're doing they're bringing Aladdin on, and then 2 new shows. So that's exciting.
That's exciting. I'll go see the new shows just to see them, but I'm not necessarily a big stage show, as we've covered multiple times on the podcast.
And then they have new stuff, Hero Zone. So more
there's a lot of cool stuff for kids.
Yeah, Hero Zone, and then Luna. There was something about that's that short. Like there's
a short Luna
called Luna, right? So they have a family entertainment venue. So I think is that the stage?
That would be kind of like I feel like that would be kind of like they have one of those the club where it's all family entertainment on the.
So I wonder if they're going to change if that back to me wondering about what the floor plan is going to be like something like the Hero Zone and the Luna idea. Like, then I start to think, well, I know how the ships are generally laid out, so sort of that midsection where they have, you know, the family lounge.
Yeah, right.
Like, I wonder how that'll be if that'll be transformed differently.
It'll be interesting to see, like, the full, once all the details come out. But you're right, we're pondering it, and this is, you know...
That's the fun part of it. Like, the fun part. The wondering...
We could talk about this for days. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and really debate it. But the other thing we haven't talked about is this... Well, they're calling it an attraction at sea instead of the slide.
The water coaster?
Yeah, so I have to admit, I'm not thrilled about this one. This is not my biggest thrill. I will try it once just because, you know, you want to try everything once. But the fact that they're calling it like an exhilarating water experience tells me it might go faster than the aqueduct.
I don't know how fast it can go, though. Like,
I don't know. But when you saw it, like, it goes all the way around the ship. But this is their water attraction at sea. But it's not the aqueduct or the aquadunk or whatever.
The duck. You were speaking of the duck.
The duck. It's called the Aqua Mouse.
I think I gotta admit, like, I'm not too keen on that name.
Like, ducks swim. I don't think mice do. Like, why Donald doesn't get it, you know, and look, I love them all, but Donald, there's something special about Donald Duck. My sister loves him, but I love Donald Duck too. And I feel like he had perfect representation on the other ships. In the aqueduct, and
like they could have called it the Aqueduct and Mouse.
They could have. They could have, but that
I kind of like that a little bit better.
No, but Carrie, can you think about how that comes out if somebody was saying the Aqueduct and Mouse?
That's horrible.
That's horrible.
Okay, so let's get back. Horrible. Let's focus back. Let's focus. But the aqueduct is a lot like I'm trying to like.
So it's like a big slide. It's a big tube.
But it's known like at Typhoon Lagoon. There's a slide that's fairly similar to it. So it kind of projects you with waves and water through the little the tubes in the coaster, right? So it sort of looks like the same type of thing.
But it looks like it has a bit of a hill.
Well, and possibly there's technology to make things bigger and faster and better and whatever, but it almost looks like the aqueduct meets like the Incredicoaster. So to me it looks like throughout the tubes...
the Incredicoaster.
Yeah, throughout the tubes throughout the rides, there's going to be like...
storyboards.
Well, it says immersive show scenes, lights, special effects, and an original story with Mickey Mouse. So it looks like it's the new Mickey Mouse, the shorts, and I think they're going to have the technology all through the ride. It's like the Incredicoaster, which, like, this is probably way more advanced than the Incredicoaster, but the Incredicoaster was a regular aqueduct. It was a regular coaster, and then they incorporated a little bit of lights and action and whatever. So I think this might be the same thing. And maybe it goes faster.
Maybe.
But
okay, so for people listening, though, we should probably explain a little bit. The aqueduct is you go up to the second story of the top deck on the ship, and it's like a big water, you get in a tube, you get in a tube. And
on a raft.
On a raft. Oh, raft, that's what you call it. Mm-hmm. And it takes you around the top of the ship in a tube. So you can't fall out, obviously, into the ocean. But you're way, way, way up. Mm-hmm. And it takes you all the way around. And then you come back around the other side and you finish there. The Incredicoaster you're talking about is the big roller coaster at Disney's California Adventure that goes upside down.
Yeah.
And they themed it so that inside there you have the Incredibles telling a story in this... Which made no sense to me because...
I'm sure people know this stuff.
They might know some of this stuff. But when you think about it, I never really... You can't see the story on the Incredicoaster. You're whipping by that stuff.
Yeah, it's a little different. But
you don't see that
I was just trying to find a bit of a parallel.
No, but... But you're right. I'm on a tube going around the top of a ship. I want to be looking outside. I don't want to be watching storyboards and lights. You're going to be gripping onto this tube to make sure you don't fall off.
But you got to make it a little bit better. Like, everybody's been on the aqueduct, right? So you got to plus it up and make it a different experience.
Yeah, I guess. But okay. But I still think it should have been the aqueduct. I still think there should have been
2.0.
Yeah, there should have been a duck thing in here.
The
like
Aqueduct
mice don't
Plus.
swim. Like mice don't swim. Aqueduct Plus. Yeah.
Yes, and then they could. Yeah, that's a good one.
See?
But and it might be a different. Like, it might be a shorter ride. It might be a little bit of a different route of ride.
Might be.
But yeah, it looks somewhat similar. But I'm sure it'll be fun and awesome. Like, I think the aqueduct was a lot of fun. So. I just don't sail on the Dream. I don't sail on the Dream very... Like, I've only sailed on the Dream a couple times, so I haven't been on it many times. And I didn't do the aqua dunk. I was going to, and I was like, no, I don't know. I don't know. And then I, like, stood under it, and I saw what happened, and I was like, no.
I think I was with you, and I was like, yeah, no. No, I don't... The aqueduct, I've done a few times, and let's just say, like, it's not forgiving to older people who are like older than 12 trying to stand up at the end of that because you're coming from like the ground in a tube with water rushing underneath you trying to stand up. There is no graceful way to do that. And which is fantastic that they have the Disney Cruise Line cast members are there and they help you because I've needed that a couple times. But yeah, so we'll try it. So then the question is, when do you sail, Carrie? We've been debating this too. So this is a big thing. And if my sister is listening, I am not booking right away. So for me, like, I'm supposed to be going on the Hawaii sailing in the May before this inaugural season starts. But I think it's going to be crazy trying to get reservations.
Me too.
So the reservations start in May, mid-May.
And it's a bit complicated.
It's very complicated. Like, to make it the most simple thing, basically, if you have cruised with Disney before and cruised more than 25 times with Disney, believe it or not, there's lots of people that have done that, they get to book first. And then the people that have sailed 20 times and up get to book next. And then 15 and up get to book next. And then by day 4... it's all the platinum castaway, which is really the top tier of
10 plus.
So the booking windows are pretty crazy. And then it goes to Disney Vacation Club members. And then, so if you've never sailed Disney before and you want to sail on this ship, you can book on day, is that 5 or 7 or something? Like
10 days after the first date.
Everybody
There's some
else.
weekends in between, yeah.
Oh yeah, the weekends in between.
But there'll be a lot of sailings. Like I think the sailings are open through the start of the fall.
Who are we kidding? My sister, while recording this podcast, I happened to get a text message come through about a sailing that just so happens to be in September on her birthday. And it's a big birthday for a celebration. So
what is she wishing for?
Oh my goodness. You know what? She's driving me crazy. I agreed to the Hawaii one for a different birthday, and now
that's her makeup. That's the makeup birthday. That's the makeup
birthday. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's lots of sailings, and I think they're doing 3 and 4 nights except for the first one. So we'll get on the ship at some point. I'm excited to see it and be on it, but I'm also excited. I'd love to be back on the Magic and the Wonder and all that fun stuff. And they've got that new island they're supposed to be. I wonder if that new island is more for the bigger ships or the little, it'll be interesting to see how many people fit on that island. I think it's supposed to be bigger than Castaway Cay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think so. But anyway, if you want to get to sailing, if you want to book this one or any others, you can call our friends at Pure Magic Vacations. They understand all the dates and times and hoop jumping. The hoop jumping you gotta go through to get a booking. But this was exciting news, Carrie. Mm-hmm. It's very exciting. So yes, we will definitely be on this ship at some point, and maybe we'll record a podcast from it. Wouldn't that be fun?
Be awesome.
Carrie, you're not over the top cruiser. in terms of short cruises. You don't like the short ones. You prefer the long ones, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't feel the greatest on cruise ships, so like I love being on them and I get excited about going on them, but usually I don't anticipate going on cruises very much. Like I usually get invited to go on a cruise or join somebody on a cruise and I'm like, okay. And then when I'm on the cruise, I'm like, yeah, my body doesn't like cruise ships very much, but I make the most of it and have a great time. And then I forget about it till someone's like, do you want to come on the cruise? We're all going on this cruise. And I'm like, sign me up. and then I get on the ship and I'm like, oh yeah, I was supposed to try to get those things you put behind your ears.
Next cruise, we're going to test those out.
I didn't bring back any gravel. Like I think that before the cruise, I get so caught up and just like, I'm a traveler and I just travel and I'm just going to do what I usually do that I totally forget. Many times I totally forget till I get on the cruise ship and we start sailing and I'm like, oh yeah.
Seriously, for such a planner and packer, you always end up on these ships without your stuff. Like that's what we need to do. We need to do like a special correspondence thing on the next cruise. We have Carrie on the cruise and we're going to test all of the different things to see if it makes you feel better when you're cruising. I just think
that I need to cruise rivers. I need to cruise inside passages. There's just special itineraries that I need to cruise. I probably shouldn't be cruising to Hawaii nor cruising across the ocean. I need to come
from Hawaii. We've been trying to talk you into this now for over a year. There is room in our stateroom. If we get the little doohickeys for behind your ears. We'll get you the thing for behind your ears.
There is no way I'm trusting those doohickeys behind my ears for the first time on a cruise that's going to go across the ocean like that. I will try them on a regular cruise.
On a little 3-day or something.
But I'm okay with leaving those cruises for everybody else to enjoy, and I'll just cruise up the rivers. I'll cruise. When I cruised up the Quebec City, the St. Lawrence, oh my goodness, it was the most wonderful cruise experience ever. And then once we got out into the open waters of the oceans,
you were not a happy camper.
Even though it looked like on the monitor that we were really only like a millimeter away from the coast.
That's when it hit you.
It was. Woohoo.
We're gonna try it then on a short cruise. We'll do a short cruise on the Wish. And we'll figure out what works for you.
You guys will tie me down and stick that patch behind my ear.
We will. That's the plan, and then we'll report back to everyone on the podcast what worked.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think you need me to do this special correspondence. So. There's a million people that are going to tell you those things behind your ears.
But it's got to be you because you're my podcast co-host. Oh my goodness, Carrie, this was fun. This was a good one to go over.
I feel we talked all over the place a little bit, but I don't know.
We did.
Made sense to me and you, I think.
I think it did. And it's funny for everyone listening. This is literally what our conversations are like normally. I used to feel a little weird about us doing these podcasts when it was just the two of us, and I always thought we should make sure we had guests and stuff on. But we've had a couple people reach out and say they like it when it's just you and I. So I'm. So thanks for that. Yeah. Okay. So remember, we've got to get those voice notes in to talk about the 100th episode.
Yep.
Well, Carrie, it's the end of the episode again. Pixie dust, and in full confession mode, I was struggling.
Ha.
I was struggling before we recorded, and you were like, "Oh, pixie dust," and I'm like, "Oh, I don't have any." Like, literally nothing happened to me this week, and I was sitting here for about 10 minutes, and then I said to you, "Carrie, is this what you feel like every week?"
Real funny.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes,
I know, but you know what? In true fashion, we both sat down and there were things to be thankful for or made us happy this week, and we both found them.
Yep.
Cool. You go first.
Okay, so
what was your pixie dust this week?
My pixie dust was that I had a visit from a friend, just a random knock on my door when I was working one day, and my friend Tara brought me a little package of goodies. She brought me flowers, and she brought me a cookie and my favorite treats from a little marketplace like that's kind of between where she lives and where I live. So my favorite things from there. And she just surprised me. So that was lovely. It made my day. So nice. And I had all these wonderful goodies. Like, and she's amazing. She's so thoughtful of everybody around her. And she just thought she would brighten my day and bring me some of my favorite things. And it was awesome. So that was my friend Tara.
That is so nice.
So that was my pixie dust for this week. And I've got my flowers here. I've eaten all the goodies. They've been gone for a couple of days, but they were well enjoyed.
That's fantastic.
What was your pixie dust?
Good friends. That's good friends.
Yes.
That think of you and do those things. That's so nice.
What about you?
So mine, I actually tried. So I have this, those meal boxes. I get them delivered. So it's the pre-made meals. They work really well for me. And I used to take these things, long story short, I used to take these things that I got in Scotland. They were aspirin and caffeine, and they used to, like, honest to goodness, they always just made you feel better. They gave you energy. And it really is aspirin and caffeine mixed together. And for years I took them, and my family doctor's like, this is crazy. You cannot be taking this much aspirin. Like, if you cut your finger, you're just going to bleed out. Anyway, so I had to wean myself off them because, whatever. Anyway, so I'm looking for stuff to give me energy naturally. And I found with these meal boxes that I get, they have these they're called pressed juice shots. So apparently pressed juice, so I had to do some research. I'm like, why are they talking about pressed juice? Like, how do you press a juice? But
how do you press a juice?
Like, it does, right? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. Anyway, so apparently what it is the way that they get the juice out of the vegetables and fruits is that they press it. It's just instead of some other way. I don't know. Anyway. This is my long story short. It's becoming long again. But I found on this meal plan thing, they have like these 6 little bottles, and they call them hot shots. And they're supposed to be really good for energy and extra vitamins and blah, blah, blah. So they are pressed juice with other stuff. And you drink them all at once, like a shot.
Because it's just a little juice.
It's almost like if you were going out to do like shots, like a shooter kind of thing, right? Shooter, that's it. So anyway, it's called, they call it a hot shot, and it's cold pressed juice, lemon, ginger, turmeric, and black pepper. I can tell you, it tastes disgusting.
How many have you taken?
Like 4.
And it still tastes disgusting?
It does. But I will say that my Beechams that I used to get from Scotland, they were disgusting too when I first started taking them. So I'll just persevere. But this, they say take it in the morning or in the afternoon if you need like a little boost or whatever. And yeah, I've had like 4 of them over 4 days, and they work.
You like them?
So yeah. Well, I like the outcome. I don't like the taste, but I'm gonna try some others. So yeah, that's my pixie
you booster juicer.
Look at me. Did you ever think that I would be drinking a booster juice of kind? Yeah. You're getting old when. Well,
you used to do other things to.
Exactly. This is
now
crazy.
Now you take a juice shot.
I'm taking like a juice shot in the morning. Yes. Excellent. All right, Carrie. Well, this was fun. I hope everybody enjoyed this episode of the podcast. And of course, reminding everyone, please rate us and review on Apple Podcasts if you can. And tell somebody about the podcast that might want to listen as well. Help us get the word out. Tag us on social media. Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Look for us on Instagram. We're on the Instagram.
Yes,
at Pixie Dust Fan.
And at Muppet Crazy.
Don't worry about that. Just at Pixie Dust Fan.
And we'll see you next week. And remember, until next time, you are never too old to be young. Chase your dreams and design your own happily ever after.